Welcome back. I didn't upload last week because I was planning to make a video on a certain topic, and then I hated the video, and I was just mumbling a lot, and which is what I've noticed I've been doing, so I don't really want to do that, so I didn't upload. And this video is currently being recorded on the Sunday before, the Sunday of the week that this is coming out. So you're gonna watch it on Wednesday or anytime after Wednesday. This is being recorded on Sunday. So yeah, just wanted to give a bit of clarification about that. I'm editing on my laptop, which is Surface. So let's see how well I can do it. My editing isn't too complex, so I don't think it'll be that difficult. I just have to get all the necessary files on there because I'm gonna be in a car. So if I want to get a file, I'm gonna have to turn on my phone hotspot. So that'll be fun. But that's all I really wanted to say. So let's get into the main part of this video, which is talking about the OneGX1 Pro. Like other devices I've talked about before, like the GPD Win 3 and other portable micro PCs with controllers, this one's just another handheld PC or gaming PC with controllers, but the difference is these controllers are detachable, which I think is pretty neat. So they're detachable in the sense that you can just detach them like a Nintendo Switch. You can just take off the controllers and then just use it as a normal laptop, but they can be attached for gameplay usage. So I'll put a picture up just on screen of what this looks like and the controllers and how this looks configured and stuff. So from the image you can see that there are two controllers on each side. There's 3 buttons on each controller, and there's A, B, X, Y buttons with a D-pad on the other side and 2 analog sticks, and it's all just basic controller stuff. But this is the controllers are detachable to use in the sense like a Switch, but this actually has a purpose to use without to use with other controllers. It's just a laptop, and it has a Intel Tiger Lake Core i7 1160G7 CPU and a 7-inch 1920 by 1200 display, which is really cool compared to other devices on the market that have a 720p display. So this thing, multiple YouTubers and other people like that have been sent review units and prototype units. So some of the information will be from prototypes of this device. So let's talk first about the specs. So on One Netbook's website, they claim that this has an 11th core i7 Intel processor, a 7-inch IPS screen with a 1920 by 1200 resolution, 4G and 5G support, for the full net module, a RGB keyboard, 4 game modes with detachable handles, which is just the controller. I'm pretty sure this is a translation, so if all these words aren't correct, bear with me. It has smart cooling with dual fans, which is really cool because these smaller devices like the GPD XD Plus, these devices get pretty hot depending on what games you're playing. Like when I play certain GameCube games that I can get to run well, the middle where there's no buttons, that just heats up. It gets super hot. So again, better fans and better cooling systems is definitely a win. It has Wi-Fi 6. So they have a photo here of a guy using it, I assume to game, because why would he be holding the controllers in public? So it's kind of this is what they want you to use it for. They think I think they're trying to capture both the portable PC people, the small form factor laptop people, the people who want a laptop but in the smallest form factor but with the most performance they can get, and portable gaming people, portable PC gaming and portable emulation people. They want to get all of those people in the same marketplace to get this device, because that's definitely what it looks like with their marketing. So to give other specs that I didn't explicitly say, this has a 16 gigabytes LPDDR4X RAM, 512 gigabytes or 1 terabyte M.2 SSD storage. There's Bluetooth and optional Netcom 4G LTE. It has a Thunderbolt 4 port, a USB-C port, a USB 3.0 port, micro HDMI port, like the one I'm assuming on the GPD-XD Plus, and a 3.5mm audio jack. It seems it doesn't have a micro SD card slot, which is kind of annoying. It has a 12,000 milliamp hour battery, which is crazy big, but I assume that's what you'd want in a device like this. For charging, you can get 5 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts, and 15 volts. So there's a bunch of different charging speeds you can have. You probably want to stick to that 15 volts because that would get you the fastest charging time, and you could get playing and like doing whatever you want to do on that device faster. Like this device would be good for something like writing a script, or I'm not sure how well editing a video on it would be, because from the looks of it, that trackpad, that what they're like replacing the trackpad with, does not look very good. But you know, if you tried, I mean, if you got used to it, you probably could. There's detachable game controllers that can also be wireless. So that's something I forgot to mention. The game controllers can be used wirelessly. So if you have the device sitting on your table, and you have the controllers in your hands, you could just play like that. So that's pretty cool. It's 623 grams, and its body is made out of aluminum. So that's pretty fun. And the price, which I think is going to be everyone's biggest like qualm with this device, what everybody's biggest problem with this device is that it's going to be $1,400 and up. Like, that's what you pay for a gaming laptop or a gaming PC. Like, I get it. This device is supposed to be fancy, and it's not going to be for everyone. But it's like, my Surface probably costs less than that. The GPD-XD Plus costs like 5 times less than that. Let me do the math. I don't want to get this wrong. 7. Oh my gosh. It's 7 times less. This thing is going to be so expensive. It's like they're trying to capture a niche audience, like a niche audience, a pretty small audience. That it's like I get it, not many people are going to be buying this device, and it probably costs a lot to make, but when you're making a device that's, you know, it's hard for me to kind of give my full thoughts, because on one end, I kind of think that's a little expensive, but on the other end, I'm like, it's a portable laptop in the smallest form factor that's going to be able to play a lot of PC games and like emulators very well. So it's like, and be good for just like general use, like what you'd use a laptop for. So it's like hard for me to like decide if I'm against or for this price tag. So if you look at the ports part, I'll just put it up on screen again. It says there's a micro SD card port that's like crossed out, and I was like confused about that. But down here it says there's an update that says when finalizing the design of the OneGX1 Pro, one netbook ended up removing the micro SD card slot since it was causing performance issues. You know, that would be something that I wouldn't enjoy. I like having micro SD card slots on most of my devices because it makes transferring files way easier. It means I can transfer files from my GPD-XD Plus to my computer and back just super easily. So like what I use when I transfer files for Dolphin, which is what I primarily do it, I don't like downloading files directly to this device because it'll take forever. So what I'll do is I'll download a file right to my computer and then take that SD card out and just transfer the file to the SD card. But I think that this shouldn't be much of an issue since they're giving you 2 different storage options and the smaller one is 512 gigabytes. I think you should be fine. Okay. It says here the game controllers were a little wonky and flexed a bit when they were attached to the sides, making the connection feel a lot less sturdy than what you get with the Nintendo Switch, with its much cheaper gaming device and detachable controllers. So And they also say it can also be a little bit tricky switching between different game controller modes. So I noticed this when watching another video. While watching someone use this, I noticed that this device, when you're holding it, the controllers look like they like move around and they can like bend. And so that was like a bit of a concern for me. Like watching him use it, it's just like I can see them wobble a little bit. And that's gonna be a problem. That is gonna end up being a problem, and they're probably gonna have to replace a lot of controllers, or like not a lot, but like some of them. So that's actually a big issue, because something like the Nintendo Switch, obviously this thing is gonna be like good for the money you're spending. And obviously being $300, I think a lot of people expect that these devices, that these controllers are gonna like stand the test of time pretty well, but they're gonna end up like breaking by accident or something. Like that whole situation with Joy-Con drift, that's Nintendo's fault, and they shouldn't make a product that's gonna break like just outside the warranty window. They have to fix that. But it's like, with the money you're paying, you're obviously expecting that like 10 years down the line or something like that, like a long time away, these controllers are gonna start like being wonky, like after you stopped using the device full time. So I think like if a controller is wonky out of the box, that's not good. And what this person is saying is that they think that these controllers are being like very wonky outside of the box, which is not ideal, especially when you're paying $1,400 and up for this device. So another device that's like very popular and has been getting a little bit of attention recently is called the Ayaneo, and the early bird backers, and this thing can play like a lot of the stuff that the OneGX1 Pro can. The early bird backers are gonna get it for $699. That's like $700 less than the OneGX1 Pro. So it's like, this thing doesn't have detachable controllers. It doesn't have a keyboard to type on, but I think that there aren't that many differences between it. So obviously early bird backers are going to get it for a cheaper price, but I don't think it's going to be much more expensive. At most, I think it'll go up to $799 when it starts being shipped out like globally and retailers get it. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a price jump compared to $1,400 that the OneGX1 Pro is going to be. So that's the biggest like thing that jumps out to me. It's just how expensive this thing is. But I can kind of see where it's coming from. Not fully, but I can kind of. And let's also notice this thing is pretty big. Like, just looking at it, like in this video I'm watching by Takayuram, it just looks big. Like, it looks very thick. And with the controllers on, it's very long. So I'm not sure how great that would be for travel. But this thing has a 7-inch display, which I think is great because you'd probably want a big screen with this device. But it's like you're cramming in all of these specs into one device that's gonna be sold to such a niche market. It's gonna be sold to such a small amount of people that it's like, why? Oh my gosh, I'm looking at, like, they have up here geek buying. Apparently the 512 gigabyte version of the OneGX1 Pro with 5G and Wi-Fi is gonna be $1,730, which is a crazy amount. And the detachable game controllers are $50. So let's move on to what I think. Because obviously, looking at this device and seeing the price tag, you obviously know this thing's going to be able to play a lot of systems. It's going to be able to play all retro systems, probably up to like Wii U, if not even Switch games, through a proper emulator. Okay, so it looks like this thing can play Nintendo Switch games. If you like push up the TDP, and like some games will run a little slower, but it does look like this thing will be able to play Nintendo Switch games. Not sure why you do that. You should probably just stick to Wii, 3DS, GameCube, Wii U, PSP, PS1, PS2, and any other retro console you want to emulate is probably possible on here. I don't see why it wouldn't be. This thing is a very powerful portable laptop that runs Windows. So any emulator that works on Windows and has game controller support should run very well. So let's get my final opinions. So this device, it's a very weird device. Like, it's not weird in the sense like we have a bunch of portable Windows devices. We have a bunch of portable emulators. We have a bunch of portable laptops that are in a smaller form factor because laptops are already portable, George. But I think, I'm not sure how like you would justify the purchase of this device. Because like if you wanted a device that can do most of these things that well, buy a GPD Win Max. It's going to go down in price later this year. You don't need to get this. Obviously, it has the benefit of having removable controllers, but with all of the issues that I just listed, would you really want to buy it? Like, I mean, sure, if you have the money and you want a portable PC, a portable laptop in this, why do I keep saying portable laptop? Portable PC in this form factor, sure, go ahead, spend the money. You get great performance out of it. You get great emulation performance. You get great PC game performance. Just a lot of things are going to run well on here. And the battery being so large, I don't think, unless you like push it to its limits, it should last a pretty long time. So would I buy it? If I had the money, obviously, because I don't. No. Why would I? I don't see a point in it. I have a GPD-X2 Plus that can play most of these systems I'd want to emulate anyway. And I'm just going to be looking at lower end devices, like the ones that I'd buy lower end devices just because they're going to get better. The chips and the hardware that these are using are going to get better and cheaper. So cheaper devices are going to perform better and have better like emulation performance and stuff like that over the years, like in the upcoming years. Like, I don't doubt that within the next, I don't want to say, God, my mouth is so dry. I don't doubt that within the next, I was about to say 12, but that's such a weird number. Within the next 10 years, we could have a portable device, portable Android device with game controllers built in, like the GPD-X2 Plus. You know, let's bring it down to 5 years. 5 years is a better number. I don't doubt that within 5 years, we're going to have a portable Android or Windows device that can play up to Wii games under $250. I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't. Because these chips are getting cheaper and cheaper. These devices are getting more powerful. And this is a device from 2018. And it can play up to GameCube. Like certain GameCube titles. Obviously not all of them. This is a low-powered handheld. But just seeing this device from 2 to 3 years ago playing GameCube games is really fascinating and really shows that the future of cheap portable handhelds will just be bright. There's going to be a lot of upcoming products that are going to be cheaper, and they're going to get cheaper. They're going to be more powerful. They're going to be more appealing to people who don't want to spend a lot of money. And maybe within the next 10 years, we can get a device under $100 that can play up to GameCube games, like around that $90 mark, or even at $100. That would be really cool. But this device just is not worth it. At least to me. This device, if you want a small form factor laptop, get a small form factor laptop. You do not want to get this. You do not need to get this. If you want a portable handheld PC gaming device, get a small portable handheld PC gaming device like the Aya Neo or the GPD Win 3. Those are both under $1,000, and currently with the early bird pricing, I'm not sure how much it'll be like with retailers. The Aya Neo and GPD Win 3 are all under, depending on which model of the GPD Win 3 you get, under $800. So get those if you really want a device like this. Do not get this. At least in my opinion, I don't think you should. If you really want to, you can. Don't let me just make you not get it. But let me know down below. Did you like this video? What do you think I should talk about next? What do you think about this device and the other portable mini laptops coming out that have game controllers with them? Like, are they cool? Are they up your alley? Or do you still think that the tech needs to catch up to where the price tag of these devices will really make them worth it? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.